amortization with a partial retirement. Rockwood Company issued 100,000 of 11% bonds on November 1st, 2019 at 104. Interest on the bonds is payable on November 1st and May 1st of each year, and the maturity date is November 1st, 2029. Rockwood retired bonds with a face value of 20,000 on February 1st, 2021 at 98 plus accrued interest. Rockwood uses straight-line amortization and reverses any calendar year end adjusting entries. Prepare the journal entry to record the issuance of the bonds on November 1st. Prepare all the journal entries to record interest expense during 2020. And then prepare all journal entries to record retirement of the $20,000 of bonds on February 1st, 2021. So we'll start out with our November 1, 2019. And we're receiving cash I'm not sure if it's italicized. We have a new liability of this bonds payable, and we're also going to have a premium on bonds payable that we're going to need to amortize over time. So our bonds payable is the face value of the 100,000. The cash is the 100,000 times 1.04 or 104% since it was at 104. Giving us a premium of the difference, which is obviously 4,000. And so now we'll use that 4,000 on all of our interest payments because it's straight line, so it's just going to be that over the 10 years. So on May 1st, 2020, we have our first interest payment. And so we're going to have our interest expense, a debit to the premium, and a credit to our cash. And so the premium on the bonds payable is going to be equal to this 4,000, I'm going to put this in parentheses, divided by, we could say 10 years, or we could say 120 months, times 6, because it's 6 months. And so we get 200 to calculate the interest on the 100,000. So we'll say equals 100,000 times 0.11, because it's 11% bonds, times it's twice a year, so 1/2, and we get 5,500. And then of course the interest expense would be that 5,500 minus our 200 for 5,300. Then we also are going to have to prepare the entry for December 31st to accrue interest from May 1st. Oh, I forgot about November. I'm sorry. It's like, wait a second, that's more than 6 months. Okay, so we have our November 1st, and this is going to look exactly the same because it's straight line. So let me check and see. We'll just go ahead and make all these cell references absolute. Oh, and then we'll copy it down. So November 1st looks exactly the same. Again, it's straight line, so it's going to look the same every time. And then on December 31st, now that we took care of November, we have to accrue the interest of the 2 months, so the month of November and the whole month of December. So I'll copy down our accounts, except it's not cash because we haven't paid it yet. So instead it's going to be interest payable, our liability to pay it on May 1st. And so we have to calculate the portion rather than the full year. And so to do that, we can say that it's equal to, let's start with bonds payable again, equal to 4,000 divided by the 120 months total. And this time we're saying times 2 months instead of times 6 months like we did in the previous example. And so we get 66.66. I'm not positive if this told us to round to whole numbers or not, so we'll leave that. And then the interest payable, same thing, equals 100,000 times 0.11 times, and this time it's just 2 out of the 12 months. And so we get 1833.33. Which means an interest expense of $1766.67. All right, so we took care of the entries for 2020. Now prepare the journal entries to record the retirement of the $20,000 of the bonds on February 1st. So February 1. First, we need to accrue the interest that took place from December 31st, or so I guess really we could say January 1st, up until February 1st. So 1 month. And so we'll have our interest expense, premium, and our interest payable. Then we'll come down into this premium on the bond payable. And this is going to be for 3 months, but for 20% because we know we're selling 20,000 out of 100,000, which is 20%. So we'll say that this is equal to our 4,000 premium times, open parentheses, 3 out of 120 total months times, and we could just say 20% because we know that, but I'll just go ahead and type it out, 20,000 divided by 100,000. And so we get $20 for this premium on the bonds payable. The interest here is going to be equal to our 20,000 times the 11% times 3 out of 12 months, which gives us 550, and so obviously 530 for our interest expense. And then once we've taken care of the accrual, we can actually deal with the redemption of the bond. So we're on the first, and I'm going to go ahead and just make a little chart over here on the side. With our bonds payable equal to 20,000. And then we need to add any unamortized premium. And so that's going to be our original premium, 4,000 times 20%, and that'll give us 800. I'm gonna actually move this over. And then we need to account for amortization to date. And so this would be equal to our 4,000 divided by the 120 months, times 20%, and then all of that times the number of months that have passed so far. And so from November 1st, 2019 to November 1st, 2020 is obviously 12 months. And then we're looking at the month of November, December, and January. So 3 more months. So a total of 15 months. It looks like I'm missing one bracket here. So we get 100, and we'd really want this to be in the negative. And so that gives us an unamortized premium of 700. And so based on that, we can determine the book value of this 20% or the 20,000 worth of bonds of 20,700. At retirement, they're telling us that it is at 98. So this is equals 20,000 times 0.98. And so the book value minus the retirement gives us a gain of 1,100. And so this, like setting it up like this, might be more helpful for you to see that gain and determine if there is a gain or a loss. But so now we can go ahead and fill out this actual calling of the bonds. So we have our bonds payable that's going to be fully eliminated for 20,000. We have our premium on the bonds payable, which we already calculated over here. So we'll just pull over that 700. We have our interest payable, which we calculated in our previous adjustment. We have cash, which we calculated right here, 19. Oh, sorry. So we calculated the 19.6, but it said plus accrued interest. So that 19.6 plus our accrued interest of 550 gives us a cash receipt of 20,150. And then finally we have gain on bond redemption. That we just calculated right here. And of course we'll just do our double check and make sure that our debits equal our credits. Oh. And it does. So, all right, let's double check there's nothing else. Yep, we prepared the retirement. So I think that finishes the requirements for this one.